Listen, y'all, I'm all for celebrating the victory and explaining oneself in a loss. So Stephon Diggs says, hey, y'all looking at me the way I was talking to Josh Allen. You want me to be okay with losing? Nah. Our level of play not up to the standard. I'm okay with that? Nah. Don't criticize my reaction. Let's talk about the result. We lose 27-10 to the Bengals. I'm a little hot about it. Eli Apple, goodness gracious. Just like Cancun on 3. I mean, damn, Eli. And that's just a small portion.
I love that he came with the heart. Cancun on 3.
I mean, Cancun on 3. I mean, he was doing all kinds of stuff. He was saying everything. He had memes. There was a meme of Kobe, rest in power. Kobe walking into an NBA arena. You know, they walk in, the cameras follow. So they were following him. He went behind a column, and then you didn't see him. He said, that's Stephon Diggs in big game. I mean, he was going in. He has stopped between his own stuff, the retweets. It's nonstop from Eli Apple. So Mike Jones, it's not the Super Bowl.
No.
I understand Cincinnati. I know Cincinnati. I know they felt disrespected. They should have. NFL just looked right over them. Right. Walked into the room, said, who's here? Who's here? And Cincinnati's like, oh, here we are. No. I'm looking for somebody else. Right. Looked over them, talked about neutral sites. But do you think this is too much when they still got to win 2 games?
I mean, look, the games are played on the field, right? So I'm not counting them out, but man, Eli, like when you do stuff like that, you put a target, you really better be coming ready to bring it and play your best game. I mean, I understand you were feeling good and they came out there and they got a huge win, but man, I would hold off on some of that stuff for maybe just 2 more weeks. Or 3 more weeks, and then do whatever you want, but just wait for a little bit.
He called him Terrell Owens Jr. After his little sideline exchange with Josh Allen when he goes, hey, I was open. Then he had another one. They're shaking hands before the game. Eli said they weren't doing this after the game though. They weren't doing this after the game. I'll pay for couples counseling. I'll pay for it. I mean,
hey, I guess he had to seize the moment, strike while it was hot, because he might not get to do something like that, there. Against Kansas City or against whoever's in the Super Bowl. This was prime target. Nobody gave them a chance. So he was like, I'm just going to flex on them and I'm going to rub this in as much as I can. And don't worry about the consequences later. I'm going to have fun. I had some friends who used to say it's about entertaining ourselves, and Eli Apple was definitely entertaining himself. And all of us.
Charles, is that all it is, Charles? Good entertainment?
It's the dude who hits the shot over you in pickup after missing bricking like 6 in a row and then just all the way down, talking, just in your ear. He's had this loaded. Clearly, Eli Apple has had this loaded up, just waiting to do this. By the way, shout out to Mike Jones for coordinating the fit today. I like that. I like that we both came with the same.
I wish if we were a real team, we could have talked about it beforehand. Hey, what you wearing? What you wearing? What you wearing?
Well, I mean, you're the odd one out. So, I mean, somebody didn't get the memo. It obviously wasn't us.
Right?
Okay. Hey, y'all left me off the group chat. Okay.
Maybe your producers need to look out for you a little bit more.
Ooh, going to you, Gary Carter. Look at your boy Mike Jones going right at you. And Nat. Don't go at Nat like that.
Michael Holley, tax preparation on 3.
Oh, man. I love this. Now, let me ask you this, Mike, because we have some games this weekend. I know the games. We all look forward to the games. And these are the teams that franchises want to go to them and find their next general manager like Tennessee did with San Francisco, or find their next head coach. You know, lots of people have come out of that San Francisco system. Philadelphia, people will be looking to them. But some of these teams on the outside are looking to fill vacancies. I know you wrote about this recently where you're ranking these OC positions. What's the best one? Or what are, give me a couple of vacant OC positions that are actually desirable, and what do you think is going to happen with those?
Well, everybody I talk to is pretty much in agreement. Number one is with the Chargers, because you have Justin Herbert that you're working with there. You've got, a lot of skill position players that are supporting him. You know, you've got a good defense as well. There were times we kind of wondered if Brandon Staley was going to be back, but hey, he's there. But at least you know that you know what you're working with there. You have other positions where you're not sure quite about the head coach, you're not sure about the quarterback. But number one definitely was the Chargers. Number two could be Baltimore if we knew if Lamar Jackson was going to be back. But because there's a little bit of uncertainty hanging over him, people kind of bumped them down a little bit. The Rams are one that a lot of people spoke highly of. Yes, they have a lot of questions, but as one guy said, you just want to get that Sean McVay cologne on you if you were on that track to become a head coach. And so, be his OC. Doesn't matter that you're not going to call the plays. You're just up and rubbing against him and hope the magic rubs off and somebody will give you a chance. So, and then as you see how it shakes out after that there.
What do you think, Charles, of Bill O'Brien going to the Patriots? They went a whole year without an offensive coordinator. They bring back Bill O'Brien. He's familiar to this region. He's familiar to this team. But I say it's like, and I want to get you guys' take on this. It's like the Patriots and Bill Belichick try to do something that if it had been successful, maybe it starts a trend where he takes a guy, a lifelong, essentially defensive coordinator, says, no, come on over to offense. You're a great D coordinator. You'll be a great O coordinator. Come on and do it. These people are overthinking it. We're going to make it work. If that had been successful, maybe other owners, coaches would be like, why don't we do this? Maybe we have the answer on staff. It was an abject failure, by the way. So yeah. What do we think of O'Brien? And do you think that rebel move could have worked or would have caught on if Matt Patricia had been successful with the Patriots?
I mean, I don't know, man. The level of arrogance and the abject failure of that attempt, and I mean, it was such a horrible debacle that Bill Belichick literally opened the door for Robert Kraft to get into his kitchen, right? I mean, all these years, every book, Michael Holley, like for years it's been, I'm going to let Bill do what he's going to do. He's going to general manage. He's going to run the staff the way that he needs to run the staff. And then all of a sudden over the course of this year, it was like, okay, actually now Robert Kraft needs the medal. He needs to basically make this change if Bill Belichick won't. That's how horrible that failure was. So I don't know if it would have caught on or not, but I mean, there's no question this is probably one of the bigger coaching staff failures of Bill Belichick's career, if not easily the biggest. As far as Bill O'Brien goes, look, I'm in Houston, right? I will say this. Bill O'Brien squeezed something out of Brian Hoyer when he was here. There were times where Ryan Mallett, looked like he flashed as a player, but those guys never really amounted to the long-term answer as a quarterback with the Houston Texans. They became a team that was in position to draft Deshaun Watson for a reason, because the offense continually failed to the point where they're finally in the position to resolve the quarterback position. I think you have to ask yourself, okay, Bill O'Brien operating with Mac Jones, is that going to look more like Brian Hoyer, or is it going to look more like Deshaun Watson? Is it going to be something in between? The familiarity is interesting. I think he's got a better track record overall, obviously, than Matt Patricia. It's definitely going to be an upgrade. I don't think there's any question about that. But again, look at the non-Deshaun Watson, Ryan Fitzpatrick when he passed through Houston. The results were the results, but it wasn't, winning playoff caliber quarterback play. So I don't know necessarily that this just automatically resolves what's been going on with Mac Jones.
No, I don't know if it resolves it, but I think that it does. Like, it takes all the pressure off of everybody and places it squarely on Mac Jones now. Now he's got no
Yeah.
excuses. You've got the guy that was your OC in college. Now you have a real OC again. And if you can't, ascend with somebody that speaks your language, who knows your game really well, who also knows what Bill Belichick likes to do, so he'll be a good bridge and between the two, sort of like Josh McDaniel was. There's no excuses for you. If you don't make it now, like, this is it. And then they're going to look somewhere else for another quarterback.
And Mike, let's be honest, right? Is so much of what happened with Mac Jones and Matt Patricia, it was the communication was horrific. Like when you would talk to people, like the breakdown of communication between those two individuals. I think you and I can agree, right? Like that's not going to happen with Bill O'Brien. The communication is hardwired in. So at least you resolve the fact that maybe the quarterback and the offensive coordinator should talk to each other and know what's going on.
Right.
Yeah,
so you're eliminating that dysfunction.
Yeah. I would just like to know from Bill, man, what was your thought process, dog? I mean, like, why? And you know what's worse? Now Patricia may be out. So wait a minute. You let somebody redesign an offense that had been there for 20 years and they were a temp employee and now they're out? What the hell? What were you thinking? Mike Jones, appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
See ya.
Hey, thank you for watching Brother from Another. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that now. Don't forget, you can catch us 3 to 4 weekdays on PeacockTV.com and on Sirius XM Channel 85.